Welcome to Metaphysical Soul Speak. I'm your host, Elena Fox Starks. Hey guys, I hope you're doing really well. First of all, we are out of the shadow period of Mercury retrograde, so woo! 3 cheers for that. Hip hip hooray. Oh my God, I'm so glad. Finally. So we are in the Lionsgate portal. 8-8, August 8th. This is 8888. It's a master number. It's a number that means money and infinity and abundance and joy and beauty. So we're here. We did it. We finally arrived. It's good. This portal has opened. It will be until about August 12th, they're saying. By they, I mean all the different experts on the portals. I'm not a portal person. I'm a grid keeper. So we just gotta assume the portal people know what they're talking about. So until like August 12th or August 13th, we are going to have this portal open. We are fully in the 5th dimension now. There's no mistaking it. Many people are saying it. I've been saying it for a while. A lot of people are finally going, you know what, guys, we're not trying to get into the 5th dimension. We're not trying to raise our vibration to vibrate in that dimension. We have been here for a while. We're here. We're not fully anchored in yet, but we're here. We're here. We've done it. If you're listening to this, you're in the 5th dimension. That's it. We're here. So we've done it. Now this portal is getting us to that highest aspect of ourself. Now begins the process of anchoring our souls into our 5th dimensional bodies, because we've been trying to put our 5th dimensional energy into a 3D body. Now we're shedding the 3D body and going into 5th dimension. It's going to take about a year. So it's not going to be overnight, which is good. A lot of our symptoms should be clearing up. And I'm here with allergies again, so hopefully that means my allergies and all of the things that have held us back physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all the ways that we've been held back. Between now and 1 year from today, it's going to be shedding, just gone. It'll be gone within 1 year. All of those things that held us back. In fact, most of them are gone already. If you're still having emotional stuff, then you have stuff to work on. You got a year. Try to get it done this week, though. Better, right? Better to shed the nonsense now than hold on to it. So just focus on the colors. Emerald green and gold have been coming to me in various forms in the past 24 hours. And pale pink and lavender were in the sky today. Violet was in the sky today as well. And bright white, solid sheets of plasma white light energy for the past 48 hours have been hitting us. I feel it. I saw it with my mind's eye. I opened my eyes. I looked outside this morning. I could see nothing in the sky but just pure white light. But There was no clouds. There's no cloud cover. It wasn't, an overcast day. It was just nothing but pure white light, like nothing else existed. And I looked at that for a while and I said, well, I'm going to sleep for a minute. Went back to sleep for a couple hours. I woke up and the bright sun was so white. It wasn't even golden at all. It was just white. So I opened up the window and I stuck my face out the window and I got my freckles back. Angel kisses or sun kisses, whatever you want to call them. I got my vitamin D, and that's what I was going for, was that vitamin D. I hope that whenever and wherever you are in the world, that you are making sure you do get your 5 to 10 minutes a day, because vitamin D helps you absorb all your other vitamins and minerals that you need. You could have all the vitamins and minerals in the world, and if you don't have the vitamin D to help anchor that into your bones, it's not going to work. Especially calcium. Most calcium pills are like a rock. You're never going to digest it, and you need vitamin D to help you. Anyway, I hope that you guys are enjoying the Lionsgate portal. The energy has been overwhelming today. 99%, or 99 on the Ascension symptom scale. Out of a possible 100, so I guess it's 99%. Of all possible symptoms we can have, we're having today. When we finally reach 100, that means we're fully anchored in, and I don't need to give you this scale anymore. So yeah, that's what's going on, basically. The Greenland ice that's melting, the glaciers that are melting, the ice is 2.2 miles thick in the center of Greenland. And it's absolutely melting. In fact, last month, with all the fires and the ice melting from the fires, it created lakes on top of the glaciers, and because the water absorbs the sun, it heated the ice around it, melting it even faster. So Greenland is going to be green again someday, soon. 197,000 billion gallons of water, fresh water, was poured into the ocean last month, in 1 month, from Greenland. Coastlines all over the world are already starting to rise. The sea levels are starting to rise. Boy, I really wanted a beach house, and now God keeps telling me, no, don't buy a beach house. I'm like, but I want a beach house. I know the one I want. It's been there for 90 years already. And God's like, no, don't buy a beach house. I'm like, so if I do get the money, which I don't have right now, but if I do get the money, the answer is still no, don't get a beach house. I'm like, okay. I mean, we've been having violent earthquakes, and that can cause a tsunami. I mean, I don't want to be caught in something I don't need to be. But man, I want a beach house so bad. I mean, maybe if I buy a house in Nevada, maybe that'll be a beach house eventually, right? I'm kidding. I do not want to live in Nevada. I don't do desert very well. I lived in Lima for 18 months, and Lima's right on the ocean, but it's desert. It's all desert. I loved it, but it's just not my thing. Being super cold at night and hot in the day, it's not my thing. Living in the mountains, where I'm sneezing my head off, apparently that's my thing. But I really enjoy what's going on in the world, actually. In spite of the negative stuff that's going on, I mean, all that has to happen so that we can look at it. Then it's like we become like super sleuths with our magnoscope. Magnoscope? No, that's not a thing. Spyglass? Oh my God, what is this thing called? Eyeglass? No. Oh my God. Every time I start to record, I forget the words that I thought about even an hour ago. Magnetoscope? What the hell am I had to pause it. I was being super distracted by my nose that desperately needed blowing, and I looked it up. So there's microscope, magnetometer, and magnifying glass, and I was combining those three words together. Oh my God. So, yeah, by the way, that reminds me, we're on a day, the Lionsgate portal is a day of creativity, bringing that sun power, that energy, that creativity in life, and, well, apparently creating new words. I was listening to Shri and Kira. Kira was interviewing a lady and about her being she was a born-again Christian or fundamentalist Christian, and her husband died, and she felt his presence in the room, and all of a sudden she started looking up everything, intuition and you name it. And angels started visiting her, and she started having all these supernatural experiences, which led her to her spiritual awakening. And now she's no longer a fundamentalist Christian. Now she's awake and spiritually open. And, it took her husband dying to get her to that point, to open up to what she should have been opened up to all along. And now she's deep in the, Ascension movement. She woke up in time, and that was her purpose, was to wake up and be a part of this. So I was listening to this, but Kira said a word today, and she made up a new word. She called it, it was like the energy of the vortex. She called it vortality. And I don't know if she meant to say vitality of the vortex, but she said vortality. I'm like, oh, that is amazing. She said we're stuck, like she said something about being in the creative process and the creative energy, and there's this big vortality. I'm like, oh my gosh, she created a word while talking about the creative process. I'm like, how amazing is that? I found out today that Shri and Kira had been in Guatemala 3 years before I lived in Guatemala, at the same place where we lived in Lake Atitlan. And now they're here outside of Cuenca, and they were here a few years before me, and I didn't even know about them until a year ago. I'm like, how weird is it that people in certain spiritual paths, on certain journeys, tend to follow other people, without even knowing it, like physically, like you're like a nomad in the same direction. Paul Butler, he's been trying to get to Ecuador for a while. He's not here yet. And he's another spiritual leader. And it's just so funny. And then there's a lot of the spiritual leaders that woke up recently. They're in Sedona now. And I went to Sedona years ago. That was the beginning of this for me. But I mean, like in 2005. No, even before that. 2001 and 2002. I was called to Sedona by a Native American woman. She was a Navajo, and she is a spiritual master, and she telepathically called me to Sedona. And told me when and where to meet her telepathically when I got there. Also, she knew I'd arrived. I'm like, okay, grandmother, I'm here. And where are we going to meet? And she had given me a couple of visions, and I went to where the vision was. I found the rocks exactly, and she wasn't there, and her grandson wasn't there. And I was like, what? And I walked back to the end of the trail after hours, just disappointed that she wasn't there. And there was a Native woman, a Navajo woman, selling jewelry with her little child. And it turned out that child was this spiritual masters, that was her grandson. And once I opened up about who I was, she said, "Oh my God, I have been waiting for you to come and talk to me for hours. Grandmother said you were coming. I can't believe you're white and you heard the call." And I'm like, well, I just look white, but I'm also Cherokee. And yeah, I'm good at the telepathy thing. And she was so blown away. And I'm like, well, I've been looking at all the ancestors in the rocks. So sorry, it took me a while. And she's like, no one can see these ancestors. I can't believe it. She's like, you have a true native heart, because only people in tune with nature can see the ancestors in the rocks. You know, I'm like, yeah, so it is a sacred place. I didn't like it, the energy of it, although that part of it I loved. And meeting grandmother's grandson and daughter-in-law and all that. It was pretty cool. Or grandson-in-law, I don't know, great-grandson and great-granddaughter-in-law, I think is what it was, but it doesn't matter. But it's funny that a lot of the people there just barely, like, they've been awake for about 3 years, 4 years only. They're now starting their journey to Sedona and all the hot spots. And a couple of the people are already on their way to Peru, and I already went to Peru. And it's like funny how like people that have like the same journey, you know, like a lot of people have gone to Colombia first. It's always cheaper. If you're coming to South America, it's actually cheaper to fly to Colombia and then make your way down to Peru. Not over the border. Don't ever cross the border. Don't go on a bus. I mean, I flew to the jungle, got on a boat, and took a slow boat down the Amazon River for 3 days. That's how I got to Peru. It was like actually safer to be stuck in the jungle for a couple weeks than actually taking a bus over the borders. The borders here are crazy dangerous. I mean, I've done the Ecuadorian-Peruvian border, but that's one of the most dangerous borders in South America. And I've crossed that border several times. But if you guys are going to do it, though, if you have a calling to do it, you know, private message me and I'll tell you what city to get off the bus at the borders, what's safe and what's not. Because you get off in the wrong place. We were accosted by a gang that wanted to take us in a taxi. And then I realized there was like no taxi meter, and then there was like, it was really sketchy, and I refused. And then I found a taxi that was a real guy, and he tried to charge me a couple dollars more, or he was going to make me walk the rest of the way across the border. And it's just full of ladrones, you know, gangsters that will like just steal from you, robbers, thieves. Gangsters are maras, and people in maras. Mara means gang in Spanish. Anyway, yeah, so before I get into all this stuff I usually go into today, my higher guidance was wanting me to talk to you guys about, because we're at this portal and it's going to start happening more and more, that the people whose journey is about to end is because they did not sign up to go into the fifth dimension physically. A lot of people are weary. You know, they're tired. They're, you know, I have 2 friends right now whose mothers are dying. And the first friend told me, you know, and I said, well, here, I've got she has leukemia, so I'm going to send you something. Dr. Berg has a couple lectures on leukemia, and I sent it to him, and he watched 2 or 3 of them, and he's like, wow, that's a really good information. Thank you. I'm like, well, you should send it along to your mom, or, you know, go back to Germany where she is and talk to her and try to get her to, you know, reason with her, try to get her to eat the healthy foods he talked about, because she can start reversing the leukemia. You know, it's all science. Everything is science, and you can fix it with science. You can fix it with diet and positive attitude and all that. But he said she would never believe it. And it just brought me back to when my cousin was dying, and I did a bunch of research, and I sent like, I don't know, 5 or 10 links to my mom. And I said, please, as I didn't have my cousin's email address at the time, and I said, please forward this to Marilyn, because I love her. I don't want her to die. I want her to be with us for a good, lot of years more. And just please send it to her. It's stuff that I researched for the past 2 weeks. You know, it's the best of the best information. It's the easiest ways to do things, because I know she's weak, but her kids can go get the stuff for her. All she has to do is drink it, you know, like Essiac, Essiac, by Marie Cassie, which is her name spelled backwards. Essiac is Casey or Kais. I don't know how to pronounce it. But I mean, if you're rich, you could just go buy it in a bottle pre-made, you know. But my mom said, oh, she's tired of looking into alternatives, and my mom refused to send along an email. It didn't even give her the opportunity to make a decision. And then when my husband got sick the first time, he got skin cancer, and that's what metastasized and eventually led to brain cancer. But we didn't know metastasized. We thought after the surgery everything was fine, then they got it and life can go on, and it didn't. But we didn't know that. But I mean, as soon as we got the diagnosis, I went out and I bought all the herbs. I came home and slaved over a hot stove for 10 hours making the concoction that was going to save his life. He let it go bad. He let it go bad in the fridge. He's like, I can't drink, it's got mold. And I'm like, it's been 3 days since I made it. And if you had been drinking it, it wouldn't have been bad by today. You would have needed me to make you another batch. He's like, oh, I just forgot. I'm like, okay, fine. So I went, I did it again, 10 hours again. And 3 days later, he still hadn't drank it. And I was reminding him 4 or 5 times a day. And he ignored it. And from these experiences, and my mom already had the links I'd sent her for my cousin when she had cancer, and she ignored him as well. And she also died. My cousin died. It's just like, it was just like really crazy. Like when people don't, in my mom, my own mom, my that was my birth mom, but my adopted mom, same thing. I mean, she was suffering from a lot of things, and I photocopied. I mean, I took like 4 or 5 hours to photocopy an entire book. It was cheaper for me to photocopy it and mail it than buy the book. The book was very expensive at the time. But I highlighted all the things for her. I made it very simple. I made a diet plan for her with all the things that she loved, all of her favorite foods, what to eat and what combination and how. And I did all this research, and I sent it to her. She says, oh, it's interesting. Did you read it? Yeah, I read a couple pages. Okay. I went down to their house a month later, and my grandmother had thrown it out, and my mom didn't even know. So, you know, just to hear my friends say, well, my mom would never believe it. And I was like, oh, yeah, I've been through all this. A lot of people in my life, actually, they refuse. Even if they know it's possible to get better, they don't really want to, in some cases. And a lot of the people that are going out now are the people that have contracts to leave. They knew that they were going to leave before the big shift happens. So they knew they were going to die. They knew. And so that's okay. They know their contract's up. They're not trying to get out of it to get away from you, or they're not just trying to resist you because you're family, although families always do that. I mean, I had a boyfriend every week for like 2 years we were together. I told him, you know, with your psoriasis, if you start ice skating, you could work up a sweat, but you will never feel it because you're cold. You know, you could wear just a t-shirt and sweatpants, you know, and put on your ice skates and just go around the ice, because he's always complaining. If he worked out, he couldn't lose weight, because if he worked out, he'd sweat. If he sweat, he got psoriasis. Okay, fine. So why don't you start playing, go join a hockey league, an ice hockey league. Start, tooling around the ice, learn how to ice skate. It's so fun. And he didn't listen to me, and I told him for like a year. And as soon as we broke up, he went out and learned how to ice skate and joined a hockey league. And a few months later, he called me. He's like, oh my gosh, you were right. You were right all along. I didn't have to resist you anymore because we weren't in a relationship anymore. And after my first marriage broke up, same thing. I had told him, or every day I'm like, you should have some coffee. Have some. See, this is like maybe not the best advice, but I'm like, oh, coffee is so good. I love coffee. I have to have coffee every day. And I would make it every day, and every day he'd go, ooh, I hate the smell of it. Ooh, it's so horrible. Ugh, it's gross. I'll never try it. I'm like, you've never tried coffee in your life? He's like, ugh, no. My mom drank it all the time. It was just the most disgusting scent. Ugh. I'm like, it's so good though. It's like there's coffee houses all over LA for a reason, man. It's because coffee tastes freaking good. It's not just the fun jittery feeling you get when you have too much. It's not just the alkaloids, And he's just like, no, gross, ew. And then, and I was always buying the gourmet. I had a friend who came over. He was wealthy, and he's always bringing me the gourmet, the high quality stuff from Sumatra, which I just love. And after we broke up, about 3 or 4 months later, he called me. He goes, I have to tell you something. And I'm like, what? And he goes, I bought the gourmet coffee that you were always raving about. I love it. I have coffee every day now. Like, so people, friends and family will always resist what you have to tell them, or what advice you have to give them, or, hey, try this key lime pie. It's really good. Ew, gross. I hate limes. I'll never try it. And then after you don't see them anymore, oh my God, key lime pie is my favorite. They'll like start making it, and then you see the recipes or whatever on freaking Facebook and Instagram, and you're like, oh God. Yeah, you're welcome for the idea. But people are always very resistant. So, I mean, they're like dying, and you have the lifeline, and they refuse to take it because you're the one holding it, because then you'll be right and they'll be wrong. But I want you to know that a lot of the people going out, they're not just resisting you to resist you. I stopped giving people advice on how to change and fix their lives for the most part. I've told people go, oh, I'm so jealous. She looks so young for your age. Well, here's the 3 things I do for my face. And I'll tell them. And then the next time I see them or, hear from them a year later, I'm so jealous. Oh, you're so young. You're so young for your age. It's like, well, remember when I gave you the 3 things that will fix your face so you can look just as young as me? And they go, no, I forgot. It's like, okay, why bother? I give you guys the advice. You take it or leave it. It's up to you. It's your decision. It's your face, it's your life, it's your health. I just do my very best to try to get the information out there. But the people that are resisting your advice right now, it might not be that they're just trying to resist you. And the people that are resisting you right now, it's because it's their time to go. It's their time. So don't be alarmed if a lot of people start checking out at this time and over the next year, especially. But I have 2 friends whose mothers are dying right now. One won't believe the information if she heard it. Probably wouldn't drink the shakes if you flew to Germany and made them for her. And my other friend, she told me her mother's dying, and she's very awake. She's very spiritual. My friend whose mother's in Germany is not, but my good friend is very spiritual, very much on the path, very much aware of the Ascension. She's been lifting ghosts up and out of here for months now, like hundreds. I mean, she actually in her home had to put up a sign, and she put some chairs to make it look like a waiting room, and she says all spirits wait here. She had so many spirits coming to her that she now has a spirit waiting room in her home. Spirits that are stuck on Earth and need to get out of here. She's a spiritual waiting room. So her mother, her adopted mom, is dying, and she said she looked into it, and there's angels standing around her in every direction, deflecting people's good prayers and well wishes and energetic healing, because it's her time to go. And I mean, as soon as my friend said her mom was sick, boom, I hooked her up to the Reiki grid. I'm sending her Reiki. I'm giving her positive. And I said, oh, by the way, I hooked her up to the grid. Reiki, she says, don't bother. The angels are deflecting all of it. I'm like, I'm going to check that out for myself. And I did. I went into my mind's eye, and I telepathed with her spirit. And then I saw the whole scene. She's in her hospital bed. She knows she's dying. She's ready to go. And the angels are deflecting everyone's well wishes and good energy and positive vibes, Reiki and the like, energetic healing. They're sending it to all of the nurses and all of the family members and all the people that her impending doom is upsetting, so that they will have the strength to deal with it. So sometimes when you pick a path where you're slowly dying over time, it's painful for you, but it's more painful for the people around you. And the reason why we all choose these kind of things before we get here, we choose to go out like this sometimes, is because the people that are taking care of us are learning lessons in compassion, love, learning that life is short. You have to grasp that brass ring while it's within your reach now. Life's too short to procrastinate. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that, because if I know 2 people who are going through this, there's probably a lot more of you out there currently going through, basically the death of loved ones, or they're getting ready to depart. This has been very, very, very much a time, like a third of the people are leaving. One way or the other, they're leaving. The ones that aren't going to actually die, they're going to be moved to another planet, and they won't know. From their end, they're going to see massive disasters where we all die, even though we're not dying. It's going to be very weird. I don't know how, well, only God knows how this is going to be pulled off. But that's what I've been getting when I've asked about it. It's really crazy. All right, I'm going to read to you guys the Schumann resonance news from Italy, disclosurenews.it. At 2 o'clock UTC time, they say, today's graph shows the sudden start of a strong activity started at 8 a.m. UTC. Within 30 minutes, the maximum peak reached 74 hertz. 74 in Italy, so hey, they're moving on up. The movements are continuing with other peaks around 30 hertz. The evening report at 1700 hours UTC time. Today's activity lasted for about 10 hours, from 6 a.m. to 16 UTC time. The maximum peak is the one reported previously, and now the situation is calm. Well, we'll see. We'll just see about that, won't we? All right. We're going to go ahead and look at midnight California time. Let's see. I'm going to go through all of those times today because it looks kind of interesting. All right. Let's see where we're at. Midnight California time, 143. And it went to 142, 141, 138, and finally at 4 a.m., 136 hertz frequency. And in Hofuf, Saudi Arabia, the Schumann resonance hertz frequency started at 90, remained at 90 an hour later, went to 89 an hour later, and back up to 90 at 3 a.m., and then back down to 87 at 4 a.m. So it's hovering around the 88 to 90 range in Saudi Arabia right now. All right. And in Lithuania, 244 hertz. Wow. So they're really being bombarded on Lionsgate. So 244 at midnight, went up to 245 an hour later, then down to 243, remaining until 3 and until 4 again. So, all right, Alberta, Canada, that's been a big one. 310, it does not disappoint today. At midnight, the Hertz frequency on the Schumann resonance scale in Alberta, Canada is 310 Hertz frequency. It remains so until 3 a.m. Then at 4, it turned down by 2. Ended up at 308. In Northland, New Zealand, it started off at midnight at 102, went to 104 an hour later. At 2 a.m., it was 105, and 3 and 4 remained at 105 Hertz frequency. Hulului. I love that. I want to hear someone say that better than me. That's such a cool word. In Hulului, South Africa, 133 hertz. 33 has come up for me several times today. If it has for you, it's time to heed the spiritual masters of light who are trying to contact you. 133 hertz at midnight, remaining so at 1, went down 1 at 2 to 132, stayed at 132 at 3, and throughout 4 a.m. So there's your Schumann resonance for 7 places around the world today. And now we've entered the gateway, the Lionsgate portal. Well, we're at a brand new lesson in A Course in Miracles. We're done with the reviews. And we're done the shadow period of Mercury retrograde. Oh, I just love divine timing. I don't do this according to the calendar. I do it according to what my higher guidance says, and it always just seems to work out so perfect. All right, the lesson 61 idea is, I am the light of the world. I am the light of the world. I am the light of the world. That is my only function. That is why I am here. It's not just for me, guys. It's for you as well. The very end, I'm going to read you a couple sentences. Today's idea goes far beyond the ego's petty views of what you are and what your purpose is. As a bringer of salvation, this is obviously necessary. This is the first of a number of giant steps we will take in the next few weeks. Try today to begin to build a firm foundation for these advances. You are the light of the world. God has built His plan for the salvation of His Son on you. And that doesn't mean Jesus only. His Son means everybody. Remember, Jesus said we're all brothers and sisters, right? So who is the light of the world except God's Son? Well, no one, but we all are, because we're all God's sons, and we're all brothers and sisters with each other. I mean, not necessarily genetically, but spiritually, we're all related. I am the light of the world. Does it make you want to sing This Little Light of Mine? I'm not Christian anymore, but I remember as a kid singing that. All right, well, I'm gonna take a quick break. When I come back, I am going to channel someone extremely special and near and dear to all of our hearts. When I come back. If you're listening to this, you obviously like podcasts, and you probably like music too. Long walks on the beach, romantic dancing under the stars, and oh wait, we're not doing that right now. On Spotify, you can listen to all of that in one place for free, and you don't even need a premium account, which is cool. Free is always good. Spotify has a huge catalog of podcasts on every topic, including the one you're listening to right now. On Spotify, you can follow your favorite podcasts so you never miss an episode. Download episodes to listen to offline wherever you are, including your long romantic walks on the beach. Also, one thing I love about Spotify is that you can easily share what you're listening to with your friends via Spotify's integrations with the social platforms like Instagram. So that makes it really, really versatile. Just search for Metaphysical Soul Speak on the Spotify app or browse podcasts in the Your Library tab. And follow me, of course, don't forget, so that you'll never again miss an episode of Metaphysical Soul Speak. Spotify is the world's leading music streaming service, and now it can be your go-to for podcasts too. Thank you guys so much for supporting Metaphysical Soul Speak on Spotify. Chances are you've heard of CBD oil, but maybe you're a little afraid it might make you a little high or super drowsy. Possibly you're not going to pass mandatory drug testing at work. Am I right? Well, I found an amazing company. I'm including the link in this episode's description. Okay. This is derived from only the hemp plant. It does not contain THC, which is the factor in marijuana that makes you high. This CBD oil has been known to reverse aging, help you through weight loss issues. You will literally lose weight on our products if you want. Also reverses hair loss. It also helps you with things like insomnia, anxiety, pain in your muscles and joints, and it gives you benefits throughout your body with its high quality antioxidants. We even have a vape. Would you like to try the blueberry cheesecake? I know I would. I mean, there's so much danger with vaping these days, but not when it is only CBD oil. That's right. You could vape not only anytime you want, because it's not going to make you high, but it's also going to be healthy for you. How's that? Pretty cool, right? Well, go ahead and look in my episode description for my link. And, well, start using your CBD oil today. If you're interested in the business end of it, it's absolutely free to join. It's absolutely free every month, actually. I have never seen a business like this in all my life. So you can start, using your CBD oil, and you can start a brand new side hustle for yourself. Hey, as in, hey, Yoga Shaman approves of this message. I love you guys, and here's to your health. All right, guys, I don't know what you did during the break, but I cut up an entire watermelon. Definitely not genetically modified watermelon here, because there must have been a million seeds in it. There was no way I could even cut the seeds out. So now I have an enormous bowl, overfilled bowl. It took me 20 25 minutes to cut up the watermelon, and 20 minutes to wrestle with the film plastico, otherwise known as cling wrap, but Ecuadorian version. You guys might be pleased to know that cling wrap is crappy all over the world. It only sticks to itself, and only when you don't want it to. Oh my God. Trying to unravel this thing. I mean, 20 minutes just wrestling with this roll of plastic. Oh, anyway, watermelon's worth it. It was, $2 for this enormous watermelon. And when we're done with this, I have a $1 pineapple to do the same thing. It's winter here, but it's hotter during the day and colder at night. Go figure. It's really summer, but we call it winter, and there's no explanation for that. But anyway, if you guys haven't seen it yet, I'm getting a lot of likes already. I just put it up, a picture of a cute little Lions bracelet I bought when I was in Detroit. I ordered it from eBay, and I wasn't thinking anything in particular, except this is an awfully cute bracelet. And I got it, and I was like, oh yeah, Detroit Lions, how cool. And when I came to South America, I was like, I don't want to part ways with this bracelet just yet. I'm going to take it with me. I brought it all the way to Colombia, and I've had it for years. And I had forgotten about it. It was in the bottom of one of my backpacks. And the other day I was looking for a pen. I ran out of ink. I have like 3 pens that I was using for the show, and now, 5 pens. I only have, one just stopped working yesterday, and then I have one that's probably maybe a good 24 to 48 hours from now. I need new pens. I won't have any more pens. I've gone through about 4 or 5 pens since I started this show with my notes and stuff. So anyway, I was like looking through my bag for a pen, and out pops this bracelet, and my son's like, oh my gosh, that is the coolest thing. Can I wear it? And I go, actually, it's a unisex bracelet. And sure. So I let him wear it, and his girlfriend fell in love with it, so she borrowed it for a week. And it just got back to me this, in the past 24 hours, just in time for the Lionsgate portal. And I took a picture. It's pretty awesome. And I put it, and it's on my Instagram at mermaidgirl888, or I think it's also on Twitter. It's on my Tumblr. I can't remember what my Tumblr is. Sorry about that. I'll let you guys know once I figure it out again. I haven't been on Tumblr in a couple months, but yeah, so anyway, I just put that up, wishing everybody a happy Lionsgate portal day. And this embodies the energy of Leo, but also with the white energy coming in, so I thought it was a pretty cool picture. Anyway, I'm already connected to the Prime Creator. He's going to speak through me for all of us. I think about the Lionsgate portal and what it means, and possibly just where we're at. I don't even know what he's going to talk about. He's God. He can say whatever he wants. So that's it. I'm gonna put the phone down in front of me and go into a trance. And hopefully this is gonna work. All right. I'm putting you guys on my Kleenex box, because I didn't want to get the phone mic buried in a blanket or something. I'm sitting on my bed like always. And the best acoustics in my whole apartment is in my bedroom. In spite of the traffic, but you can still hear it from the living room, so All right. As you know, I am a channeler, but I channel indirectly. People who channel directly have an entity or being come into their body and use their mechanical, like their voice box and their body, and they are gone. They don't even realize what's happening. Sometimes they realize, but usually no. They come back out and they don't know what happened. And their voice changes and everything. Now, I am an indirect telepathic channel. I'm a Virgo, so I don't allow anything to take over my body at all. I'm not comfortable at all with that. I'm barely comfortable in here. Why do I want another person in here? So anyway, so I'm going to telepath the Prime Creator, and if there's anything that I have a question on, I'm going to ask. I'll stop and ask. I'll break the trance a little bit just to ask, and I will do muscle testing to get a correct answer in case I doubt what's coming through, because sometimes I think it's just coming from my subconscious mind. A lot of times entities or beings of light, masters, will pull what's in your mind. They can only channel what you understand. They can only give you messages pertaining to knowledge you currently have, for the most part, or words you currently have in your brain. It's hard otherwise to get it across. So sometimes I question it. So if that happens, then, well, you'll know. You'll figure it out. And then if I'm asking a question, I'll say it's me. If they're talking again, I'll say it's them, just so you know. All right. Here we go. Get the energy going. That were my third eye and my eyes. Ki Asha, Ki Asha, Ki Asha. When you tap your forehead and say that 3 times, that opens up your third eye. It's a Pleiadian tactic to help you channel easier and see things in your mind when things are being telepathically shown to you. All right. Divine Mother, Heavenly Father, Prime Creator, Prime Creatrix, we're ready to go. Are you here? Are you with me? I'm connected to you. Yes, yes, yes. I get muscle testing says yes. Welcome to Metaphysical Soul Speak again. As always, thank you for being here. We are pleased at this time to be able to come through and wish you all a wonderful Lionsgate portal day. For us in heaven, every day is a portal day. We are always getting new energies here, and we raised up when you raised up, and everything is new here, and everything again is a delight. Even though for millennia it was the same and every day was delightful, now there's new explorations to be had, even in this realm, for the people who were already, in your words, deceased, but in our words, back home again. We wish to tell you and let you know at this time that you are on your merry way. Finally, you are in the home stretch. As far as the Ascension is concerned, you're very close. And we don't mean close in God years, which can take millions of years. We mean close in human years. 3 to 5 years out for everyone to be fully ascended. Those of you listening to this message will be fully ascended in 18 months. Or less. Yes, or less. Okay. Please let it be less. You don't want it to go too fast. Trust me. You don't want to go too fast, because imagine you were a baby one day And a week later, you're fully grown adult. Imagine all the pain you had to cram in that 1 week. That's why we spread it out. All the hurt knees, all the growing bones, all the teeth falling in and out, falling in and out, coming in and out, coming in and falling out is what he meant. Imagine if you had all the headaches in your life over the course of your entire life crammed into 1 week. That would be a really big headache. It'd be continuously nonstop. This is why the Ascension has to take so long and why it has been taking so long. You have to make micro adjustments and many adjustments along the way. And as they happen, your physical body becomes tired, your mind becomes mentally foggy, you start to hear high-pitched sounds and frequencies in your ears, and you get confused. And imagine all the confusion at once. Over the past 5 years, all the days you've had foggy, groggy, confused days, if you cram that all into a week or two, people would put you in homes. They would think you have dementia. So we have to go slow. We have to exercise patience. So let it be a lesson in patience for you. We love each and every one of you, and this is why we are... Sorry, I had to wait for the truck to pass. We are waiting for you to go through a specific passage of time in order for this to take place in a way in which it is comfortable. We want this to take place in a manner in which you maybe even enjoy. The process is very slow, and sometimes it seems painstakingly slow. But that's why. You can't grow from an embryo to a man in a week, and you can't go through the Ascension in just a few months or a year. It takes a long time. Trust, you have all been going through this since before 2012, since actually about 2010. And imagine if you were waking up just in the next few months and you had less than a year to grow. Some people will be going through that. It's going to be painful for them. So we're asking you to please exercise caution and kindness and gentleness that we know humanity can provide when it wishes to those brand new people who are just starting to open up to all the grand possibilities and ideas that is the Ascension. As far as being in the fifth dimension, you are all already there. You are standing on filaments of silver light, though most of you cannot see it. You have gone up a rung, if you want to look at it as if it's planes of existence going up a ladder. You have arrived at your final destination, but you have not found your seat with which to sit. Imagine that you've gotten on a bus and you've taken a journey across the country, and you know you're going to, let's say, a concert, and you just reached the edge of the parking lot and the bus has dropped you off. You're there, but you're not quite there yet. You still have to walk to the theater. You still have to find your seat. You have to get comfortable and sit down and then enjoy the show. Imagine If that's what you've been going through, your bus has already arrived. You're in the parking lot. You're walking towards the concert hall or theater now. That's one way in which we can relate the amount of time left you have. Some of you will run to the concert hall and race in and find your seat right away, while others will take a leisurely stroll and enjoy the beauty around you. Either way is okay. There's no right or wrong way to ascend, since no one has ever done this before, and all the cosmos are watching you. Divine Mother speaking now. We wish to let you know, our children, how much we love you. We know each individual hair on each of your heads. We are aware of all your thoughts, your anxieties, your trepidations, your worries, your fears, your traumas of the past. We are aware of every person's troubles and past and thoughts. Some of you will still struggle with addictions. Some of you still struggle with loneliness. Or conversely, some of you struggle with being in a relationship that you do not currently enjoy. We see that many of you are very worried about your future still. We want you to know, as we always have, we have all matters in our hands. Everything is going to plan. We need you all to relax. Enjoy the journey. Some days are better than others, and some days you would rather leave behind. But even in the tough days, they're there because they do involve lessons. And you're learning along the way. And that's more important than the destination sometimes. We want to let you know that we are beaming love and light. We're radiating joy and the presence of harmony and beauty. We're radiating this energy surrounding you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We want you to know that we are here. We do walk this journey with you. We learn and grow through you. We have the knowledge, but you're gaining the physical experience of this. You are all brave and divine warriors. Yea, you are us. We are you and you are us. We just happen to have a little bit more of the knowledge. If you can imagine a giant cosmic brain and everybody has a stock in that brain, like the stock market, the greater stockholders are us, Divine Mother, Heavenly Father, Prime Creator and Creatrix of the universe. We are one being. There is only one God in the finality and in the beginning. But we break it down to a Mother-Father Godhead so that you can understand that we created you from us. You are our children, as you yourselves create your children. Your children come through you. You create the physical body, and the soul is created by us, and the body houses that soul. And we can no more stop or change your personalities any more than you can stop or change the personalities of your own children. We do not get dismayed or judgmental over various things that you say or do, whether you get angry a lot or whether you are sad or depressed a lot or suicidal, or maybe you have sexual addictions and you want to have sex with a lot of people or masturbate a lot. These are things that make up your individual personalities, but these are things that you chose. These are challenges that you chose for yourself before you got here. And it's all in service to the one will. We wish for all of you to stop feeling bad about yourselves if you're an addict or alcoholic, or you're violent, or whatever it is. We want you to stop judging yourself and stop hurting yourself through a lack of forgiveness. We wish for you to forgive yourself and just try to do better now. We've already achieved the experience of these things that you deem to be negative. For us, it was interesting to understand it from a different perspective. Your physical experience helps increase our knowledge. It increases the stock in the grand brain that is all of us. We are all one brain. We're all one soul. We're all one being. Bob Marley was right. Bob Marley had a hotline to God, if you want to call it that. He understood the deeper spiritual, esoteric meanings behind all of life. If you don't like the word God, by the way, you may just call us life with a capital L. Life. Life says this, life says that. That's okay. The universe is a nice classic one. A lot of people use the universe because the word God or goddess has connotations that many of you are still not comfortable with. So we do not wish to put you off by semantics or words. Pick the one you want. It's not going to upset us. We love you outside of religion. Religion is man-created. We are not the petty, cruel, angry, wrathful, vengeful gods that you see is written about in your books. We want you to know. We want you to know that we are so much more. We aren't that. In fact, it's man that is that. It is the man part of God that created these seemingly negative qualities. We are creative, fun, exciting, generous, intelligent, beauty, and all-encompassing love. When we think about what you have decided to go through in service of us, all of us, including yourself, you have decided to go through the Ascension. We bow in honor of that choice. We love you so much. You are worthy in spite of the flaws or the problems that you've chosen to work with, work through, and deal with in this, your last life on 3D Earth. take a moment. Take a moment. Congratulate yourself because you have passed through 3D Earth. It's over. You are now graduated into 5D Earth. You are in the 5th dimension. You're walking across the parking lot because you've already arrived. You're on the block. Pretty soon the petty problems and jealousies and thoughts of lack and negativity, pretty soon all of this will be washed from you energetically. It will be washed away. Like a gentle spring rain falls upon your shoulders as you walk outside under the clouds that are swollen with the life-giving, nourishing rain. We will rain down upon you energetic showers, one after another, until all of your negativities and energetic remnants of former dualities have disappeared from your fields. When we say your fields, we mean your emotional body, mental body, spiritual body, physical body. And when that's finished, we'll work more on your physical body. We'll get rid of all of the ailments that you had decided to take on at this time. You're finished. You don't need them any longer. There were several people that wished yet to pass away, as you say, or come home through those physical ailments, and they're doing that now. Some people wanted to go out in an exciting manner. They wanted to be shot in the shootings, or they wanted to be stabbed or hit by a car. It's not ideal from your angle, is it? It's not good from your side and perspective. It's quite tragic, in fact, and very sad, but please remember that when people die, that's because that was the end of their contract and they're coming home. And they didn't actually die. They never will, and neither will you. Your loved ones who you say have died, never died. They're still here. They're up here with us. We're taking good care of them, and they're taking good care of each other. And they all love you, and we're all watching you. We're so excited to watch this unfold. We have said this many times to you. Are your eyes changing yet? They will be. Your eyesight, your vision and blurriness, it's going to come in and out. Same thing with your hearing. Same thing with your ability to taste. And sometimes your sense of touch is going to be way, way off. You won't be able to touch what you're touching. You won't feel the touch. You won't connect with it. Sometimes you'll feel that your body is being touched, but no one's there. A lot of this is just the energy shifting around you. Do not be alarmed and do not be afraid. If it gets really bad, go see a doctor for your own self-assurance. Your physical structures, your bodies, are changing to their crystalline forms, rainbow crystalline forms. It's been mentioned many times that when you look under a very strong magnifying glass, even through an app on your phone, as Elena discovered, use the one with the light and do this under the sun, you will be able to take photographs of the little rainbow crystalline structures in your skin. It almost looks as if somebody has put makeup on your body, and yet you're clean and you're sparkly. You're rainbow sparkly. This should delight and thrill you to no end, because it is physical proof that the fifth dimension is real. That what you've been wondering about for years now is true and is coming to pass as I speak. Angels are surrounding you at this time. Ask for help when you need it, when you feel you are, maybe you feel you're going crazy, or you're feeling like you're at your wit's end, or you're being very impatient, or you're very sad, or you're very tired and that makes you angry because you had something to do. In any of those situations, or any other scenario, just call upon the angels that are surrounding you. Hey angels, I need your help. Say it like that. Please angels, help me. They will help you in whatever you need. Whether it's to boost your morale, to lift your spirits, to help you from being depressed if you get stuck in that loop again. The angels are here to cut ties between you currently and your former selves in the 3D. We have set this up by design so that you're never alone and you always have helpers. If you're struggling with money, ask your money angels to come. Woohoo, I didn't know about that. Money angels. I mean, I've heard of it, but I didn't know if it was real. All right, that's me talking, Elena talking. So, Divine Mother, can you talk to us about the money angels? Yes, absolutely. I would love to. Everybody is assigned a money angel. Sometimes 2 or 3, depending, because some of you have chosen a very hard, impoverished life, so you'll need all the help you can get. You can always add more money angels to your collective of angels, and you can ask them to build your belief, raise your vibration, allow you to attract, like a very strong money magnet that you are, to attract the money to you. Money does not mean much to us in the other realms, but where you're at, it's still going to be important for a little while. But we are washing away the connotations, the evil connotations that have been attached to money. Soon it's going to be extremely easy to manifest, and it's just going to flow to you like water. And you're going to be fine. More than fine. You're going to thrive and be happy. This is what we wish for you. The grand design and grand experiment is over. We're simply tallying the results of it now. And your reward is that you get to go to the 5th dimension, where you become a creator and aware of your oneness with everybody. In this space, you're going to hold energy and vibration. When you hold an image in your mind, it manifests rapidly. Be careful what you wish for. It's an old Chinese curse, guys. That's Elena speaking. And Divine Mother. Yes, indeed. Just imagine when you fall asleep that your money angels are surrounding you, and you can tell them what you want and what you need, and don't be shy to ask, and don't feel guilty that you're asking for too much, because they're going to relay that to us. And guess what? We are the ones that provide. We provide it to you. Do you think that we didn't make plenty enough to go around? That's like saying we didn't have enough energy to make the leaves on the trees or the blades of grass, and that's why you see only grass in some places and not in others. That's not true. Grass grows everywhere. Trees are completely covered with leaves, not 30%, but 100%. Except in the fall where they lose their leaves, but they gain them right back. As is the cycle and nature of everything. Many of you who had held on to your wealth so tightly, and you were very, very wealthy, but you held on to it so tightly that you became afraid of losing it, and that has affected your life negatively, you have lost it by now, or you will. If you can't freely give to charity and help out your fellow man, you're losing that energy. Money is simply energy, and you're losing it if you're not using it. But for the most of you, you have struggled even a little bit, if not every day of your life, with money situation. Once we're fully anchored in the fifth dimension, you will bring it to you. Everything will come together. People, places, circumstances will flow like water to you. It'll just roll on out. Imagine the red carpet, or in this case, maybe depends on where you live. Maybe it's the green carpet will roll out in front of you. And as you step foot on that, from that day forward, you have money. You're not going to have to work hard for it like you did before. You're not going to have to toil for days and weeks and months and years just to get a very little bit, then only to turn around and have that taken away. Like many of you chose that story for yourself. But that is a story that brings you strength. And in some cases, it brings you your identity. And in many cases, it draws your family closer together. And in many cases, it shows you who your true friends really are. In times of struggle and strife, you'll know if you have a true wife. This is not Elena saying this is Divine Mother. She's laughing. Lovely. She says something that she heard someone say in the 1800s. That's awesome. All right. Even though many of you have a similar story, all the circumstances are different, and you're all unique individuals. And you'll continue to be unique individuals, whether we're talking about money or anything else. Whether we're talking about parenthood or being a child to parents that are still living, or career, or spirituality, sexuality, gender identity, emotional and psychological crises. No matter what it is that you have chosen to come here, all the problems, the things that have hurt you that you chose will go away. Mental illnesses will be cured soon. It will be as if you wake up one day and a light bulb went off in your head that wasn't there before. Everything will become illuminated and you will be just fine. She's showing me the Limitless pill, guys, from the movie Limitless. When you take the Limitless pill and all of a sudden you can think clearly and you're surrounded by white and golden energy. It's an image she just showed me while she was describing that. Okay, so Divine Mother, what else? Even though all of your struggles will be gone, you will take on new challenges that won't be problems or struggles or sadnesses, but they will be new projects, new creations, new ways of showing up in the world and bringing the beauty. New friendships will be formed, new alliances, new havens and shelters for like-minded folks will be built and brought together. Many of you will become very wealthy quickly. If all of you want that, it's available for all of you. There is no discrimination anymore. After a while, there will be zero discrimination. That can take some time longer, but your crystalline bodies will be ready within the year. So you have many things to look forward to. Get plenty of rest, drink plenty of water, eat fresh vegetables and fruit, whatever you need for your body to survive and thrive and be happy. She's saying if that means eating meat, go ahead. Oh yeah, she's indicating she heard what I was talking about yesterday. So, we do not wish to impose the energy and feeling of guilt or the idea of Judgment Day coming upon you any longer. This is all man's ideas, and we want you to let go of the sadness and the smallness and the pettiness that has been inherent throughout many of the churches, the organized religions, not just Christianity, but all religions, she's showing me. There's always been an inequity between the person in charge of the service and then imposing tariffs by passing around a basket. And it's even more insulting in some. Like, for example, most Catholic churches, the basket is on the end of a long pole as if you are not worthy of being touched, yet your money is. It's quite insulting when you think about it. A lot of those things are going away. The inequity, the inequality, the energy that one person is better than another person is all going away. You no longer need to hold on to those ideas. You do need to start looking at people as if they are souls. Look beyond their height or weight or skin color or gender identification or actual gender. None of that really matters. Hearts, minds, ideas, souls, these are what matter. We anticipate that time's going to collapse and you'll be able to, time frames will be able to collapse as well as time, and you will be able to get things done much faster. Like she's showing me in my advertising that I'm getting ready to do. I'm putting another ad out tomorrow. Okay, so she's saying like where it took forever to get customers and you have to advertise a lot, for example. This is just one example. That you'll be able to achieve what it took months to achieve before in a matter of 3 weeks. When it comes to like bringing in customers to a restaurant, for example. Or for me, in my case, it's bringing listeners in. Okay. So what else? Going to university or any kind of college or certification class your mind, it'll be like it's like all the light bulbs have been replaced and everything is illumined inside your mind, and you will be able to see very clear and understand and know what's being taught on a very deep level. It's going to be so much faster than having to study and study and study and study and still not understand it and study more. Your memories will be more readily available. Things will not be a struggle as much. Even getting clean in the shower will seem to take a lot less time. Washing your hair will take less time. Everything, in fact, will seem timeless. Take a lot less time. And speaking of timelines have collapsed. Okay, that's what she's telling me. Timelines have all collapsed. You are on your grand final destination. Your timeline is your timeline. This is the end. As you go into the fifth dimension, we don't wish for you to do so fractured, fractionalized. You have to do so whole. And so we have called back to you. And if you're listening to this, you are a prime. All the subprimes, all the people who are you, but went to other dimensions to live out different storylines or dramas or forks in the road choices that you made. Okay, so she's showing me like if you're walking on the road and you have to choose between two people that you love and you go with one of them. Well, in another timeline, you picked the other person. So now the person that you were in both of these were very different, but now we've all come back together into ourself. Okay, Divine Mother saying, yes, exactly. You have taken yourself and gathered yourself back unto yourself. Heavenly Father wishes to speak. Okay, go ahead. We've had to collapse all of the timelines and time frames in order for you to enter whole into the fifth dimension. We wanted you to be mathematically complete. If you want to look at it from a system of math, you're starting from scratch, brand new, as babes in the woods. I'm questioning God right now. Babes in the woods, really? Who puts a baby in the woods? See, that's not even safe for the baby. I'm having this conversation with God right now. He says, I was merely trying to use an expression of humans. And he's kind of joking. He says he doesn't fully understand it, but now I'm arguing with him again because it's like, you're God, you understand everything. He's like, yeah, of course I do. All right. Anything else we need to know? So, as a parallel, dimensions have collapsed, or as the timelines have collapsed, the parallel dimensions have collapsed as well. You are becoming lighter, but the timelines and dimensions have become more solid in a way. And yet you remain less dense than you were 10, 12, 15 years ago. What was that? The doorway with which you walk through to the fifth dimension, which is right now. The portal's right now starting, the Lionsgate portal. All of you who have listened to this, you're in it already. You've arrived as far as you've gotten in the door of that portal. As Divine Mother says, you're still in the parking lot walking across to the theater to find your seat, as the metaphor. But as far as this portal, if you're listening to this, you're in the door. Don't worry. If you didn't meditate, don't feel guilty. Just move on and try harder tomorrow. Try to take a few moments to yourself. You don't have to meditate in a specific religious fashion or spiritual fashion that you've been taught. Just follow your higher guidance and your intuition, because there's no wrong way to do this. You're going to be okay. You have made it this far. There's no turning back, and there's no reason for you to want to. Any self-loathing that remains or self-doubt is on its way out. That rhymed. He says, yes, just in time. I open my eyes and it's like almost towards the end of the recording time. Please know that we are with you. We do care about you. We do love you. We have sent helpers, beings of light, angels. You all have your spiritual guidance with you, and the masters of light, as well as, he's saying, Ashtar Command and various light forces from other planets and galaxies. Other beings that I have created are all surrounding you, beaming you love and light at all times. Everyone in the world, universes are proud of you. All right, now I'm just getting like an emerald green energy. Okay, God's saying, okay, take this energy, this color green. He's showing me it's like the color of Brussels sprouts, the dark green, or maybe like broccoli is the color green. And he's saying, heal and cleanse your auras at this time with this emerald green. It is a very powerful, soothing balm, energetically speaking. It will clear everything in your heart, and the energy of emeralds, or emerald ray, emerald light, whatever you wish to call it, that is what is being beamed at you next. The white is coming through, the gold is coming through, the emerald green is coming next. And he says, we've already sent you blue, but after that more blue will come. There are different frequencies and octaves of various colors that they're sending us, is what he's showing me, that they all are to heal ourselves, manipulate our energies in ways that are conducive to our rapid growth and our rapid awareness levels, as well as our spiritual growth, like our awakeness levels, I mean. So he's saying, well, we wish to wrap this up now. He says we have a bowling tournament to get to. And they're kind of like laughing. God's got a hilarious sense of humor. He's saying it's a lawn bowling tournament, and if they don't get there on time, the ostriches will be angry. And he's referencing Bewitched. Those are kind of excuses that people had to pop out on Bewitched. He's kind of referencing, because he knows that was my favorite show as a kid, and maybe kind of still is now. Awesome. Okay. They're both saying, we wish to let you know that we love you. We're here. We are supporting you. You got this, but we got your back, so don't ever worry, basically, is the energy I'm getting now. All right. Thank you. I love you guys. Thank you for coming. I mean, you guys are always here in my life. We're always connected, but thank you for speaking through me tonight. Telepathing through me. They're like, not a problem. We're always here. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, that's all I got to say about that. I hope you enjoyed tonight's episode. I hope that it brought new information, or at least the same information, but in a new light, so you could think about it from a different angle. Hopefully that helps. The one thing that came to me before I did the channeling, they showed me the album cover of Pink Floyd, the one where Money, I think there's a song Cocaine was also on it. Two of my favorite things. But on the album cover, there was like a pyramid, and there was, on one side, there was a white light being beamed into it, like a prism, and then the other side, there was a lot of, like a rainbow coming out of it. And they're showing me that all white light contains all colors of the rainbow, and they're showing me that all of the colors of the rainbow are collapsed into one, into that white light. And that's what they've done with our timelines, with all of our other selves. We're all back regenerated into one being. It's why we're very tired right now. We're trying to get rid of stuff and gather onto stuff, and we're integrating all of ourselves from parallel worlds, dimensions, timelines. We're gathering it all up into one. And so we're gathering up all the colors of the rainbow that we were and are. And we're gathering it so intense and it's integrating so close. The light is denser, our bodies are less dense, and it's becoming that white light so that we could walk through this portal that started today. Probably a few days ago it started, to be honest. It's fully open today and will be for another 4 or 5 days. So meditate a lot on that. See what you get. I would like to hear your perspectives on it, because anyway, that was just the Pink Floyd album covers, how they showed it to me. I spent many hours as a kid looking at that. I was a babysitter. I used to babysit little tiny babies, and they always slept. So I was always bored. So I was always looking at album covers and reading lyrics and listening to music very quietly. But that was kind of the image that they got. It's like a reverse prism. Instead of like the white light beaming in and all the rainbows expanding out, we're doing the opposite now. All of our rainbow colors coming together, creating white light. We're going through the portal like that. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. I am signing off now with peace and joy and the high vibes of the holy fifth dimension. Happy Lionsgate Portal Day, guys. Until next time, peace. Metaphysical Soul Speak is run on sponsors and listener support. This means listeners like you. If you are so inclined to support my efforts and my little podcast, please visit me at anchor.fm/metaphysical and pledge an amount of your choosing today. Thank you.